There's a lot of restaurants open down there?
They have opened quite a bit, and like you're in Orange County, like we're allowed to eat inside now, which is kind of like, I didn't even know that because we haven't been in a restaurant at all as a family, and so I was like, oh, you're allowed to eat inside.
Yes.
But,
awesome.
I wasn't even aware of it, but Cynthia obviously wanted to sit outside by the beach, so we sat out. We went to this little place downtown and sat outside, and we drove down PCH, and I was just showing her around Huntington Beach. And then, like I said, Duke had football, so we came back, picked up Danny and my daughter. And Danny's been, he teaches from that side of the room. So he teaches over there, and so he was teaching till 3 o'clock. And I think he had a football call today too. So picked him up, took Duke, and then we had, like I said, went to dinner, went to ice cream, and came home.
That's great.
So
that's awesome. Hey,
I think
really quick,
I can hear Frozen now.
We wanted to ask you really quick just before we got started on the podcast, because I saw your post on, I think it was one of the football forums. I don't know if it was AFCWA, but it sounded like you know the Nolans personally.
Oh, Jimmy Nolan. Yeah, Danny knows him. Danny coached at Costa Mesa, not under Jimmy, but before Jimmy got there. And Danny knows Jimmy from Fountain Valley. I worked in the Huntington Beach Union High School district, so I know Jimmy from working in the district. So I don't know. We're not personal friends, but we know of the family pretty closely. Because I worked in the Huntington Beach Junior High School district for 10 years. So, they're known in our district as like the Nolan.
And I feel like with the coaching circuit, it's just such a small world. Anyway.
I guess that's why you feel like, and it's just a Southern California family. Yeah. Like, you know them being in the football family, and like the Nolan, like Jimmy's pretty well known. Like you just know him in our Southern California football unit of a family, just because he's been around a while. So I feel like we know him. You just, that kind of football community, you just feel like you know him pretty well, just because it's a local family. So
and our hearts just broke. Just all coaches. I saw it all over Twitter and social media. Everybody was just, even if they didn't know him or haven't heard of him, hearts are breaking wide open for
I think that's when you hear a story like that, had this story happened in, New Jersey, your hearts would have broken. As a football community, a football family, your hearts would have broken. But because I said on my post, because it hit home, because it was a Southern California family, we've run into Jimmy, Danny's seen Jimmy at Glacier, before and that kind of thing. So it was a Southern California family for us. It was a little bit different. I'm sure I've passed his wife in a football stand at some point, at a tournament or a passing league, or, one of those kind of things. It was just a little too close for home for me. Just any story like that across the country, your hearts break. It just was a little close to home because I know of the family. I've seen his wife. I've met, I've passed him somewhere within 100 yards of him at some point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I have a friend of mine that's selling bracelets that say the Nolan family, and I was donating the proceeds to Jimmy. So I bought 2 bracelets for Danny and I today. They're green and they say the Nolan family on them. So I bought 2 bracelets today for them. And a friend of mine, Mandy, she
nice to meet you, Danny and Chris.
Nice meeting you as well.
So they're personal friends. So she's been keeping me in the loop a little bit because she and Jimmy are personal friends. Again, working in the district. She works for the district. She's the graveyard security. But it hit her really hard. So it's a tragic story. And they were so close to moving. He's in transition, I think.
Okay.
It's my understanding that they were in transition, and that's what she was finding them a home.
Okay.
And
out to South Carolina? They were going to move out? Okay.
Correct. So she was there with the children to find them a home because he took a job in South Carolina.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Man.
So that is, and now it's horrific. Yeah. And so now they're all fighting. She's in not great condition from what I understand. She's in really critical condition.
Okay.
The daughter has like 5 fractures to the skull but he posts almost daily of their like videos of them. But I don't know if you read the article that it was her fault. So, I mean, I don't know how, when she finds that out, I don't know how she deals with that at the end of the day.
Right.
Okay. I was wondering because they had 2 different cars, and then it said the Explorer or the Expedition was the one that was on the wrong side. So,
which is hers.
Okay.
Okay.
Man.
So, and then Jimmy was on the call with her, and then so he heard.
That blew my mind. I mean, that right there was just, I couldn't even imagine.
Right. So he heard the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah. So what's interesting is that when Chris was coaching at Monrovia, what was it? 2014, he got into a car accident.
15.
15. Yeah. And he was coming home. You had done he does like a Monday night fellowship with the football players. So they typically, what he does is they watch, like a family will host the boys, and he opens up to any kids. It's more of a spiritual thing. Like they'll do a Bible study, but then they watch Monday Night Football. So he was on his way home, and he was talking to a parent on Bluetooth. So he was hands-free, but he got into a car accident.
Oh, wow.
Literally the only thing, he rolled, and
Well, I didn't roll. I flipped over and slid.
Flipped over, slid. So he landed upside down. So when the paramedics and everything got him out, I mean, they were looking him over going, Coach, are you okay? I mean, like they didn't say coach, but he said, sir, are you okay? Because all he had was like a cut on his finger. They were like, you need to go to the hospital because we're fearful you have internal bleeding. And Chris is like, I'm fine. It was like totally God's hand over him. But so what was crazy was it was weird. Typically he comes home at the same time. So him coming home like at 9:30 was not, because we live in Chino and Monrovia is, 45 minutes away. And so it just I just got like this check in my spirit. Like, I'm like, something's not right. Even though it was only 8:00 and I wasn't expecting him for another hour. Then I had just put the kids to bed, happened to go on Facebook, and I had a message from someone. I happened to open it, and it was that dad. It was the wife of the husband that was talking to Chris. And she just said, I know you don't know me, but I'm so-and-so's player's mom, and my husband was on the phone with your husband. He got into a car accident. I don't mean to alarm you, but I just got goosebumps. Yeah.
He heard the whole thing. So I'm on Bluetooth, and after the truck came to a stop, I'm gathering my thoughts and my wits, and I hear this, Coach, are you all right? Like the phone is on, and I go, sorry, I just got into an accident. I'll call you back, right? I think I said something like that. I didn't know where I was. And he's like, oh my gosh, are you all right? And I'm upside down. So I'm hanging, literally, the seatbelt got me strapped in like a bat. And I go, yeah, I think so. And I start doing this, and I go, I think so. And he goes, okay, well, you may call your wife or anything? I said, no, let me get off the phone. I'll give her a call. So,
oh my gosh.
He literally heard me
sliding,
tumble, and roll down and slide down the freeway. Heard the melee all over the thing, and so that's why that whole thing with her on the phone, him on the phone, that resonated, because I can't even imagine. Had that been Kareen that heard that, that'd have been a different deal.
Yeah.
But so we were fortunate. I was lucky. The good Lord was definitely looking out for me. But it was just interesting that the phone even stayed on. The phone worked all the way through the crash. And
I'll tell you, Silverados, Chris ended up totaling his car, but we ended up getting another Silverado because he was untouched.
Wow.
And even my cousin, we were telling her the story. and she got a Silverado after she heard, because Chris was completely safe. It like all the airbags had gone off. The window shattered, but because they have airbags, I guess, surrounding the window, like it covered him. He didn't have one cut on his face. Anything.
That's unreal.
We were like, okay, Silverados are our car. But he was.
I don't get paid to endorse them, but I will.
Yeah.
Not to desensitize Coach Nolan's situation.
No.
It did resonate, because I was like, that was kind of like what happened with Chris. And, you know, the parent being on the phone with him, you know, I can't even imagine. So.
Yeah. It's tragic. And obviously he wasn't there. And then he got on the flight the next morning, and then with his daughter, his oldest daughter. And they've been there ever since, he's been at his wife's side, and the two other children that are fighting for their lives at this point. You know, Jimmy Jr.
Yeah. We're definitely keeping them in our prayers for sure. You know?
Yeah, it's a crazy story, and it's tragic, and you know, his poor wife, like I said, like the minute she finds this out,
Yeah, that's going to be hard.
Yeah, it's a doozy. And Jimmy, I mean, I can't imagine what he's going through.
No.
So, tragic, so.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, thanks again for doing this and coming on.
Sure.
We appreciate your time, Coach. I know, you know, I appreciate and can appreciate just the days now and being in Orange Coast, and you guys are probably Zooming all the time and trying to make sense out of this whole deal. So
right there.
There it is, right? That's the football field as we know it right now in Cali.
Yep.
So so we'll talk a little bit about that as well. I'd love to get your thoughts on just how everything's going at the JUCO level. I know you're teaching at Downey, right? Downey High School?
Yeah. So teaching at Downey, I just picked up math tutoring at OCC.
Okay.
And so hopefully eventually that turns into some type of 1 class, 2 class type thing, you know, supplement income. And I think maybe eventually if it works out to be a professor at the junior college level, obviously that gives you more flexibility, you know, as far as the time. I'd love to be able to drop off kids in the morning, or like just be involved a little more in their lives. And so I think if it works out, that would be kind of huge. So
yeah, that's great. Now for JUCO, do you need your master's?
Yeah, so I have a master's in business. So I got that when I was a graduate assistant at Lindenwood University. Perfect. So you're all set as far as, you know, education and all certificates and all that stuff. So yeah, well, good, man. Well, yeah, we'll definitely hit that and ask you kind of, you know, just your thoughts on the season and how you guys have handled it and what you're doing, and maybe even some at the end, like some of the craziest, you know, what are some of the things you're going to remember from this quarantine period and takeaways and stuff, and just share out kind of, you know, what you guys are doing too, and help us all out, man. Give us some pearls of wisdom, you know what I mean? You know, we talked with other football coaches. I talked to Coach Mesa, Crown Del Mar staff a lot. I'm good friends with Dan O'Shea and Kevin Hedtig there, and I picked their brains. What are you doing? You know, and so I think we're all kind of. That's a great thing about being a coach, is that fraternity and like willingness to share. And it's not a you're my competitor. We've been, you know, I was texting with the Golden West coach, you know, who's our rival, but I used to coach for him. So like when you've been in the game long enough, your rival is someone you already coached with, or he was in our wedding. Like, so it's, you're our rival, but you're still my buddy. You know, he actually introduced Dalise and I, so that's part of the story. So
that's great.
Yeah, so absolutely.
Awesome. So yeah, definitely want to get into that. And but no, yeah, thank you so much, guys, for your time. And yeah, we're gonna kick this off with little no huddle questions for you, Danny. I'm gonna ask you 5 just fun little questions, your favorites. And then Green will ask Dalise some questions about your 5 favorites. And we have 5 questions for you, real fast and furious, get to know the Falkensteins. And then we'll get right into this thing. So, Danny, first and foremost, favorite sports movie. What do you got?
Oh, God, that is such a big one. Bull Durham, I think might be my favorite. It's close. That and the program. So,
1A, 1B.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, right there.
Nice. Favorite food? Desert Island, you got one food to pick. What are you taking with you?
Oh, I won't go too far into this, but I go to restaurants and I tell the waitress to order for me. So,
Nice.
in and out, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I know favorite college team, Orange Coast, but outside of Orange Coast, what would be your team that you're rooting for?
I'm an SC Trojans fan. In the mid-'90s, I was on the field when SC overcame 14 straight losses. People, the student section came on the field, rioted. I'm a Trojan fan for life.
Nice. Got to be proud of Trojan Nation of writing a letter to try to get some things happening in the Pac-12. So that was cool to see Clay Helton and everybody just kind of sign that. All the players kind of get that going. Hopefully something happens from that. How about NFL team?
I'm a Steelers fan, so another kind of rioting thing. LA doesn't have a team or hadn't for a long period of time. I went to school in Pittsburgh. While I was in Pittsburgh, of those 5 years, 2 of the 5 years were championship years for the Steelers. Got to ride a bunch, got to hang out with all the Yins, the people of Pittsburgh, and I'm a Steelers fan.
Nice. I got to tell you, I was a big Lynn Swann fan growing up. I wanted to be a receiver and wanted to wear 88 because of that guy. So, yeah, I know little Steelers in there too. And finally, greatest football player of all time. If you had one to meet, one to sit down with and have some dinner or coffee, who would you, alive, dead or alive?
So the question is, who would I want to go have dinner with, or who's my favorite player?
Oh, okay. That's 2 separate questions. Let's answer both. So who's your favorite of all time? And then we'll answer the other one.
God, it's such a big question. The guy who comes to mind is Hines Ward, and I remember him blocking. He obviously had great receiving touchdowns and moments, but what a ferocious blocker he was. And now I'm a receiver coach, and that's like, I want my guys, I would catch the ball, do all those things, but I want you to block. I want you to be a tenacious blocker. I want that on your highlight film. So I'm a Hines Ward fan as far as player.
Knock your head off and then smile at you. He had the best smile.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's what he did.
Was a kid. Loved the game, loved to be a part of it, and he was so fun to watch. And I grew up on that too. And so as far as like to go have a beer with, I mean, I love Terry Bradshaw.
Gosh, yeah.
Terry's my man.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh.
And I know they're both Steelers, but we watched the Fox NFL kickoff or whatever, and we love him. We're huge Tony G fans too. Dalise went to high school with Tony Gonzalez, and so.
Oh yes.
And so just like the great people, like those are the people I want to go, have a drink with. But Terry's just he's a hoot. I love him.
Have you seen the show? Have you seen his the Bradshaw yet?
Yeah.
We haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet, but we want to tune in because he's funny.
He's great.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Good. Thank you.
So now we're going to turn it over to Dalise. Okay, Dalise. Number 1, your favorite movie?
Oh, Grease, hands down.
Oh, yeah.
Grease.
Just can't help John Travolta.
The old one, right? The old one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The first one, the original.
First one.
I watched that. I mean, I had multiple copies of it because I would burn the VHS out as a kid. My parents were like, "Oh, another copy." So, yeah.
Okay, favorite song?
Oof. I don't know. But I mean, I don't know. I go through a lot. I mean, I'm a 1980s girl, but I'm a big country music fan. So, like,
that's you. Yep.
Yes. I don't know. I mean, I love our wedding song, which is "True Believers" by Darius Rucker. I'm a big Darius Rucker fan. So,
yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know that I have one favorite song, but yeah.
That's up there.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Okay, favorite NFL team. I mean, I don't know if you share the same with Downey.
I mean, I was a Steelers fan before I was married to this guy, but we're from San Diego originally, so my brother was a big Chargers fan, but Well, I'm definitely a Steelers fan. Like we're
Nice.
We're a Steelers household.
Love
Yes.
it. Love it.
Okay, favorite vacation spot? Not that we get
Islanders.
any opportunities for a vacation, but Christmas.
Places we've been or places we want to go?
Huh?
Places we've been or places we want to go?
Oh, that is a good question.
Another A and B. Let's go favorite spot you've been to and then dream spot.
Okay, our honeymoon we went to Thailand.
Okay.
So
Nice.
yeah, so Thailand was pretty epic.
Koh Samui, an island off the
Yeah.
coast of Thailand. Beautiful. We did nothing. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that does sound amazing.
Thailand was
Put that on
pretty,
our bucket list.
yeah, Thailand
Yes.
was pretty epic, and Samoa is in our future.
Okay.
All right.
We're supposed to go to American Samoa for our 10-year anniversary
Yeah.
with a couple. The offensive coordinator that I work for at Orange Coast College, like his wife and my wife are like the same people, and we and we're the same people. And I don't know, we're supposed to go as a family. They have 3 kids, about to be 4. And
Nice.
we're trying to convince them to
Yeah.
save up, start saving now in about 4 or 5 years and go. So
That'd
Love
be
it.
awesome. And
Love
then
it.
maybe if you pick up a player or two.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
it's a write-off. It's a
Yeah.
recruiting trip.
bring him back. Yeah.
Okay, last question. Favorite restaurant?
Yikes. Oh, wow. We have so many good hole in the walls that we love, and then there's our
Who share them? Like locally, like where you live, like in Orange County, or?
yeah, like we have our favorite like Mexican food place that's like, you know,
Okay.
the total check is $20, you know, out the door. you
Yeah.
know,
Tell us about this because you know we live close to you, so.
it's
Well,
my
not-
daughter's favorite restaurant. It's, you know, it's like I said, it's $25
Oh,
out
yeah.
there. It's called Don Ramon's.
Don
Yeah.
Ramon's. Okay.
Best
We're gonna
salsa
try it.
bean dip place out the door.
Oh yeah. The
so
salsa, like you get full as you sit down because chips and
it's just
salsa.
chips and salsa.
Oh,
yeah.
love. It's
Yeah.
The Don Ramon's, Dominico's serving the shore since '54. That's the best pizza in
Okay.
Belmont Shores. So that's like our staple, like for birthdays. That's like my parents. That's like our pizza place. We have pizza parties at my parents' house. That's
Awesome.
like the only pizza my parents will eat. Is my parents have been going there since 1954.
There you go.
So
That's
I love their
Yeah.
tagline. I love that. Serving the
Yeah.
shore since 1954. That's a great tagline there.
yeah. So that's like those are our staple places.
Sweet.
So yeah, those are probably
Yeah.
my 2 favorites. Pizza. My mom's like full Italian, you know, Italian Jew mom. So like she's like the best cook in the world. So it's hard to leave my mom's kitchen. She's
Yeah.
like the best. Like that's the best restaurant I can go to is home.
Yes.
So, but the Dominico's is probably the best restaurant outside of my mother's kitchen.
There you
Really?
go.
Okay, we got to write that
There
one
you go.
down.
Got it. Yeah. Well,
Awesome.
we're always looking to
Belmont
branch out.
Shores.
Get out of the hot IE and get over to the coast and have some
Yeah.
Yes.
good Mexican
Yeah.
food. Oh, good. Well, all right. Well, thanks, guys. That was great. Still get to know you deal right there. So now let's pivot into you guys, back to you guys as a couple. Tell us a little bit about how you met, how the Falkensteins came to be, and then introduce us to your family. Who wants to kick that one off?
So
It's a football story. We met on Huddle.
On Huddle.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm still waiting for Huddle to pay for my wedding.
So
Let's
we
go.
both. So the Falkenstein story is we met while both working at Marina. I was a financial planner, but coached at Marina, and so I would come in a suit, look nice, come into the football office, and she was working special education across the way. And the Golden West coach, Coach George Pasco, he was the head coach I was working for. He taught Dalise PE at Huntington Beach High School back in the day when he was coaching Tony Gonzalez. And she was also
Okay.
a stats girl and that type of stuff. So they had a relationship. She would come in all the time, say hi, just that type of stuff. And
I had 2 nephews that had gone through the program, the football program, at the same time. They had both been out on campus as well, and I was involved in the booster club.
Mhm. And so she had a relationship with George, and I'm the new guy coming in, this, that, and the other, and hey, how you doing? And then after a while, yeah. So she wanted to look into HUDL for lacrosse, for video taping and recruiting and putting highlights. And so I'm the young gun, so I have an iPhone, so I'm in charge of all the technology. That's actually how I got the technology gig when I was a GA in college. I had an iPhone, so you're in charge of cameras and technology.
Only prerequisite you need right there. There you go.
You must know it better than anyone else. So so at Marina, same thing. You're the young guy. You're in charge of all that type of stuff. And so great, I'm in charge of the HUDL. So great, okay, I can create a sub team lacrosse. It's free. Here it is. I'll make you an administrator on it. I'll be an administrator on it. Great. So all of a sudden, I got a text one night, and the text was, I don't know if they're frozen. Can you hear it? You guys hear me?
Yeah, gotcha. It's the video.
Oh.
Yeah? Okay.
You guys are frozen.
Okay. And so, I get a text one night, hey, this is Dalise. I wanted to ask you a couple questions about HUDL. And it was like, okay, how did you get my phone number? And so the smart one over here decided to go on to HUDL, and you can go check as when you're an administrator, who's on HUDL, what their phone numbers are, that type of stuff.
Email, yep.
And so she decided to sneak my phone number. And then we started talking. It was very innocent at first. It was just about HUDL. And then it started turning into just life. And then it turned into, well, why are we texting until 2 o'clock at night? Why don't you just come out and have a drink with me?
Oh, yes.
There you go.
Wonderful.
I said that. I said, meet me for a drink in 15 minutes. I'm not staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning and texting you. And he said, 15 minutes. I said, 15 minutes. Guess who was there in 15 minutes?
Okay, so
Awesome.
I have to ask you, Dalise, did you know, did you have any other intention besides just having questions about HUDL when you texted him, or no? Like you just.
Now you're starting to sound like my mother-in-law.
That's funny.
What are your
My
intentions?
mother-in-law asked me the same question. What are your intentions with my son? The first night I met her. What are your intentions with my son?
I love it. Sorry to bring that memory back.
I know.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We're just digging deep.
I don't know if I had other,
So we are, I'm 9 years younger than Dalise. And so, and we knew the gap. Like she was in her mid 30s, I was in my mid 20s, and we knew the gap.
And to be honest, I knew that he was younger, and so it was
a little less at first.
No, it was just. I just was like, he was the young kid that was coming in the suit to work in football. Like there was never any of that connection because he was just the young kid.
Yes.
I knew he was, I knew he was younger, and he was the young kid that works on the football. So he was never a thought until there was a significant connection outside of the age even being, like there was so much more than his age. Like it just wasn't even, there was so much more to him than his age.
Right. Yeah.
And so when we could talk, and he was so nice, like that was like, he was just so kind and he was so nice. And football was such a big part of my life long before Danny. Football and sports, and I played sports in high school, and so football was big for me and being into it. And like he said, I was a stats girl in high school, so I knew what I was talking about, and he appreciated that I knew what I was talking about and that I could carry on a football conversation. And
now, did that stem from dad or brother or uncles or anything, or that was just you, just kind of?
My dad likes football. My dad has missed. In our 8 years, my dad's missed like 3 of his games, 4 of his games. So my dad comes to all of his games. So my dad likes football. My dad never played football. My dad was career Navy. So My dad's not a sports athlete himself, but he enjoys watching it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I just like sports, you know, just who I am. But I don't know, there was just a nice, I guess my past has not served me well in dating nice men. And so being with somebody that was nice.
You didn't date nice men.
I didn't. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I didn't date nice people. And so I didn't date. So to be with somebody that was nice and that I was able to connect with, and it was just easy with Danny. And so my intentions were never to date him at all. And it just evolved to that. And so I was like, listen, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this, but I can't lose sleep over you for one more night. So you
didn't lose any sleep that night.
Yeah, so let's just wait for a drink. So it was just one of those, like, cut to the chase already. I was to the point in my life that, like, if this was going to happen, make this happen. And so, he showed up for the drink and
he never went home.
And literally here we are 8 years and 2 kids later. It was just that easy, and it was just that friendly and kind and nice and simple. It was just simple. I mean, I think especially now with COVID, life is so complicated. I mean,
Sure.
outside of COVID, it's still, life is just complex and hard, and it gets
lack of structure.
It's
Yes.
just so combust with everything, and it gets so crazy and full that, like, I needed somebody that was just easy, you know. And I tend to be a very complex storm in my own head. That Danny just is very calm and very simple, and is just a breath of fresh air. And so he was just that for me, and it was just a nice relief, you know.
Wonderful.
That's great.
Wonderful. 2 kids, and how old are they now?
6 and 4, a boy and a girl. Dixie's 6 and Duke is 4.
Wonderful.
I love those
Great
names, by the way.
Great
name.
Yeah, Duke had his first Friday Night Lights tonight, so he got get on the field and run around, you know, socially distanced and the whole deal. They got their cones, you know, 5 yards apart and the whole deal, and he smile ear to ear because he's just been locked up in the house, and he's an active kid. And so and Dad's smiling behind my back, and I'm just, you know, just happy he's happy.
Oh, I'm sure proud dad moment, huh?
Oh, absolutely.
Very cool.
Oh, very cool.
Very cool.
Just kind of shifting gears a little bit, we wanted to talk, Dalise, with you about the AFCWA, and it was great that we interviewed Rob and Cynthia just recently. She's the president of the AFCWA, and it was just really neat to kind of talk with her. But I wanted to ask you kind of, what was your first encounter with the AFCWA? And I know you and I have already connected, so I kind of heard the story, but just for our listeners, I think it's really fun just to hear how you first kind of got connected with AFCWA, and then kind of just going into, you know, what is your position on the board, and how you are part of the board there, and what your duties are, and everything. So just kind of share with us what you do with the AFCWA.
I mean, well, first becoming a wife, Danny obviously was a member of AFCA, and it was our first vacation together going out to Nashville. It was one of the best vacations we've ever had. And
Before kids.
It was before kids.
Yeah.
And so I had gone, and I had met, you know, I was, you know, new, of course, and I had volunteered for everything, signed up for everything. That's just kind of who I am, my personality. And it was the year they were doing a fashion show, and I had signed up to be a model. And the first day, you know, you sign up and you go and you get checked in or whatever. And I stood, and my very first encounter was meeting this group of women to be your model and get sized up for your catwalk, if you will. And what better way to get to know women than to, I mean, excuse my expression, but to drop your drawers in the back of a stage. I mean, there was no like changing room or anything. It was one big old changing room, and you just got undressed and put on your outfits and walked the catwalk, came back, and then got changed. I mean, there's no better way to get to know your sisters
Right.
than to be changing them in front of them and, you know, zipping up dresses. And I mean, and that's, I mean, these women are now, we're talking 8 years later, they're some of my best friends. And
That's awesome.
I'm now serving on the board with these women of AFCWA, and they're the ones that called me and said, you have to apply. And I was like, I'm not ready to apply. I'm barely a seasoned wife. Because they kept saying, we need seasoned wives. I was like, seasoned wives are women who have been like 20 years. That's a seasoned wife to me. I'm not a seasoned wife. I'm 8 years into this thing. I'm barely a wife, let alone a seasoned wife. Are you kidding me? Seasoned wives are like 25 years. You know, the founding mothers are seasoned wives, not me. You know, and they're like, no, you're a seasoned wife. I'm like, really? I'm still learning every day how to be a wife, let alone a seasoned coach's wife. So, you know, they said, please apply. So I applied, and, you know, I'm just honored to serve on this board of just hands down some of the best women, let alone coaches' wives, friends, sisters that I've ever met. And just this group of women that I met 8 years ago, let alone the ones that I continue to meet every year. And, you know, the mission of AFCWA is camaraderie, support, information, and service. And that's exactly what I feel like we're constantly doing every day in our roles as coaches' wives. And, you know, particularly I'm, you know, in charge of the silent auction of convention. And we took that online last year for the first time, raising more money than we've ever raised, which was
Nice.
a huge gamble. We weren't sure how that was gonna work out, but it was received well. And, you know, with going virtual this year, it's going to look a little different than it looked last year and the years prior, but we're going to make something happen. We're not sure exactly how that's going to look. And then just, I think everybody's role in the board of directors of AFCWA is to continue to provide that sisterhood. I mean, I think the tagline we've used for years is 100 yards of sisterhood. And I know that's catchy and maybe too cliche or whatever, but I think it's exactly who we are. I mean, just providing the sisterhood. I know, right? Just to provide the sisterhood of what we go through. And some are in the trenches, and some, maybe this isn't for them, but they're still a coach's wife. And just to serve as the olive branch between women that are married to a coach at the very least, or if you're in the trenches, whatever your stance is, that is who we are. And I just feel that this is a lifestyle that nobody else gets. And this is just one that we bond over, and it is one that we stand strong with and are bonded at the heart, no matter what your belief system outside of that is that this is a lifestyle that I'm proud to be a part of. And I think it's awesome. And what we do for young men of all levels, and grown men at the NFL level, you know, because we have those wives here too. And, you know, our boys call me Mama Falk. So, and I wear that proudly.
She's very proud of that.
I love that they call me Mama Falk, you know, because Falkenstein is not the easiest, I mean, trust me, it's not the easiest name to be remembering. And Dalise sometimes gets all cockeyed, you know, that's not easy. So Dalise Falkenstein just isn't a name that's easy. So Mama Falk is just, it just rolls for them. And it is just a name that I really hold very dear to me. And when they say that, I mean, I just well up and I connect with these kids, and it's just our lifestyle of living on turf or grass or whatever is just, it's just a lifestyle that I am happy to share with my children and have my kids be part of. And so that's what AFCWA is for me.
I love it. Yeah, I'm excited because this is my first year being a member, and I'm honestly, I don't know what took me so long. And I think I spoke when we talked earlier. It's like, what took me so long to do? And I think part of it is maybe just a little bit of an insecurity, and like, you know, oh, you know, it's such a big organization. I don't want to, you know, I don't know anybody. So could you just kind of just speak into that, if there is a listener, you know, a football wife that maybe has some apprehensions, just to kind of encourage them.
Be brave, be bold. You're new only once.
Yeah.
You're only new once, because the minute you sign that membership and you become into the organization, it's one time, and you will never be alone again, because as big as this organization is, you're only new once, because there are so many sisters and so many women that are here to greet you and to just embrace who you are as a coach's wife, that no matter what level you're at, that we've been there and we know where you're going, we know where you're at, and whether your husband is at any level or in transition for that matter, because COVID has brought so much of that, unfortunately, that we are here to embrace you and walk this path with you, whatever that looks like for you.
What I will say is I think the AFCWA does a great job of integrating new people and welcoming new people.
Absolutely.
They have a new wives, seasoned wives,
I was just,
platform that they connect people with. And I'll tell you what, not only that, it's the ice cream social. If you want to get coaches there,
honestly,
and mingling, I mean, we met Cynthia and Rob there. That was our one of our first years, right? We met them there. And I'll tell you what, a couple of years ago, there was a JUCO coach and his wife, and he was about to go down to high school in Texas and do that. And she was nervous as all get up. And I think she was thanking Dalise later on of just like the ice cream social was good, because then it was, he met me, and then his buddy with his wife came. And I'll tell you what, like, I think they do a fantastic job of breaking the ice.
I was going to mention, not the ice cream social, but apparently that's what Danny remembers.
It's all you can eat, right, Danny?
It's an ice cream. Yeah.
We do have our group, Seasoned Wives, New Wives, which is a fantastic group, and we have 2 of our board members that run that, and it was awesome for me, and I've become a seasoned wife apparently. But I do I guess so. My goodness. But you're partnered up with, you're matched up, and sometimes it works that you're high school to high school or JUCO to JUCO, wherever, and sometimes it's logistically, we try to do the best we can to match you up with the best fit, and with mentor-mentee. And so you can walk through this path with somebody that can lead to guide you as a partner. And so you're never going to be by yourself. So actually, one of my friends who just signed up like you, who's been a seasoned wife for quite some time but has never been a member, she just joined, and though I'm not her mentor, she just got partnered up with somebody, and she is so excited. She just connected with them via email, and she just reached back out to me and said, I found my person. And so nice. She just, it's so exciting. She's like, I found my person. So they just connected via email. And so now they've established their relationship. And so they have their connection, and off they go running with their connection. And so I'm so thrilled for her. Mm-hmm. And so she's taken that relationship, and it's going to unfold for herself. And I have my mentee, and God, I'm so excited. Since they have their 1-year-old baby, and she was not even pregnant when we got matched, and so, and it's just, that has evolved. Her husband was a college coach, and now he's a high school coach. So much has changed for that relationship, for, my baby, they've just evolved, and so it's such a wonderful program that we offer at AFCWA. And so 2 of our board members, go through with that. So if you're new and you're looking for a way to break into the organization, or how do I get started, or I don't want to join the membership and then just sit here, what does my membership do, or where do I go with my membership? Seasoned Wives, New Wives is a great way to get started, because it helps you, what I would say, break through the membership. And it's so much more. I feel like some people think that membership is just convention. Your membership is so much more than convention, especially now with COVID times, when our COVID times are just getting us through a virtual convention, because the membership is really all year long. With our Zoom calls, if you really follow us on Facebook, we're doing these Zoom calls a couple times a month. We're really connecting. I know you've been on a couple of them. We're really connecting with our women throughout the month. So.
Awesome. Danny, what's been your greatest memory outside of the ice cream social? Your greatest memory of the AFCA to date. What do you look back and remember? Man, that was awesome that I got to experience that.
I remember my first convention. I think it was Orlando, 2010. And I remember the Florida State offensive line coach. And at the time I was coaching outside linebackers, and I knew nothing about offensive line. I could have been completely clueless, right? I played skill positions. I was coaching linebackers. I knew that they blocked people, and they're trying to be mean and nasty, but that's about it. He explained gap protection rules to me that still I take to this day, and it's a basic concept, but to me at that time, and I got told, don't go to linebackers. Go to a different position that you don't normally coach, because that's just going to get your knowledge base there. Like, they might not go into specifics enough for the position you coach, right? I remember that Texas Tech or Texas TCU coach, linebacker coach, was talking, and like Oklahoma's in the front seat, and Texas is right there. Like, he ain't saying nothing. Oh, I got to drill for that. Right, so he's just talking about the basics, because he's got his enemy right there. And so, but like, I go to the Florida State guy, and he's talking about, again, something base, but to me, it, like, my mind was blown of like how detailed every position was, and that's what makes it interesting. Football is interesting to me. I'm analytical just by nature, but it kind of blew my mind, the AFCA. Of spreading so wide, and the net is huge. The other thing is I learned quarters coverage on a mirror. So palms coverage, quarters read coverage. I learned that on a mirror. I had a buddy who was somewhere else. I coached at Linwood. I was now a defense coordinator in high school. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? He's like, oh, we need to talk palms. What does that mean? And he's like, no. Here, let me come to my defensive coordinator's room, and let's, you need to hear this. Nice. And so I learned palms on a mirror. And the most I've learned, as far as like the big details and like going in depth, is on a mirror, last year we broke into a ballroom. My staff at like 1 o'clock in the morning, our defensive coordinator goes out to get like Wendy's or something, or like just terrible trash fast food, and he brings it back, and we're on the mirror. I got hired hours before that. I got hired at halftime of the national championship game this year.
Wow.
I had been I had been talked to and that type of stuff, but like and they already know, like, she was not very high on the idea of leaving Friday Night Lights. Okay. Like, going to Saturdays, that sounds terrible. And so the head coach, they're at a bar, whatever the bar was there at their hotel. And so we find them at halftime, and the head coach like starts like pressing her and like, okay, tell me what we need to do. How do we get this done? And before I knew it, how much I was going to get, what my title was, and the whole deal was offered to her before it was offered to me.
Oh, that is so funny.
So
it's like your personal agent.
Yes. She was my agent, for sure. Totally my agent.
What kind of gear the wives get? How much family time?
The biggest thing is, so my father-in-law, who barely misses any games, right, the last 8 years, he needs Frito nachos. So he doesn't want regular nachos.
Yep.
Fritos as the base.
Yes.
The chili and the nacho cheese on top. And so that's part of my, every job I've ever gotten, that's part of the negotiation is Frito nachos just for him.
Taking care of the father-in-law, I like it.
Yeah. And so as far as like last year went, I accepted the job. I was a special teams coordinator at Downey last year. We had a really good special teams year as far as like comparing to years past. I'm really proud of that. And I had no interest of doing special teams, but they had their special teams coordinator moved on. They needed a special teams coordinator. The stipend was going to be a little bit bigger. and they're like, oh yeah, you're the special teams coordinator too. I'm like,
Sure.
Okay, I guess. You know, and me and the head coach are kind of splitting that because I am the passing game coordinator and receiver coach. So I have enough of other responsibilities that I can't just do special teams.
Yeah.
And so we're splitting that. It's 50-50, but you know that's going to turn into 80-20 when season comes. But
yeah, I was just going to say, get ready, hang on for a little bit more responsibility, right?
Yeah, like I already know that. And so yeah, stuff like that has been phenomenal of just learning on the boards and hashing out bigger details in non-traditional settings. And what I love about the AFCA is you go in there, you walk in, and there's the job board. Like people have their resumes posted and that type of stuff, like GA's trying to get full-time jobs and guys just trying to get in the industry. But right next to them are grease boards, blank grease boards, as you walk through the hallway. Because they know everyone's got a grease pen in their pocket. And so, and people are talking ball, and it's just like, oh, how do you do this, right? That first year, I learned a backpedaling technique in a bar, and they were doing beer bottles and napkins. And they're just like, you got to keep the leverage, you got to keep square, right? As they're doing it, and I'm just like, as a linebacker coach, I'm like, give me more because I don't know this at all.
That's awesome.
And so, yeah, AFCA has been fantastic for me. Formal and informal information, and the networking has been fantastic. Obviously, now with the recruiting, and we obviously recruit, and then we try to get our guys out. And so we're kind of in the middle.
Yes.
And so it's been fantastic for that. All those contacts I've made, I bug them all the time. And, you know, my big thing is, how are you guys recruiting in COVID? Like,
yeah.
There's no film. I got a kid who didn't play in high school at Modern Day. He's 6'6", 255-pound tight end. Like, he needs to go somewhere. How do I get, like, so those are the conversations as I'm calling the tight ends coach from UCLA, and I'm calling my buddy who's in the CFL, and you know, the networking, right? That's the thing about the networking is the guy who has the job at Podunk whatever in 3 years has the job at UConn or at the job at, you know, I mean, the Baylor coach, you know, I know he was assistant coach in the NFL, but he came down to Baylor and he's a head coach in the Panthers. And like,
right.
It's crazy on how the carousel works.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. No, that's great. And so you guys together have been to the AFCA and the convention. How many years have you guys gone together?
6, I think. I think Dalise.
I took 2 years off.
2 years
kids.
off.
Okay. Okay. You got 6 total conventions together.
Together, yeah.
6
Most
together.
memorable convention together.
First one, I guess.
It's hard. I mean, the first one was very memorable for a lot of different reasons. This last one was fantastic. You know, we were hanging out again. So 2 years ago, she got officially on the board at AFCWA, and we're in San Antonio, and she gets the call. She has the interviews. I meet her after. She's with the girls who all interview, and they get the call, and they all got it. Like all 3 of them got on the board, and like we're celebrating in Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville, jumping up and down like crazy people.
Love it.
And like that, I mean, that's memorable. And
awesome.
So, you know, another thing I like, the tailgate that they've been doing the last couple years for the AFCA. So they have like free food, a couple free drinks, and you get to hang out and watch the national championship game with all the coaches. And so that's been, I've met some really good buddies there. My buddy Lance, who's a head coach in Florida, high school in Florida, and never knew, like just bumped into him and started watching the game, just started talking. And now he offered me a job that night. And it was funny because like we're from California, he's in Florida, she ain't leaving. And I was just like, yeah, that's nice. And so now the running joke is every year he's offering me a job. I'll be my offensive coordinator. And so I know this is completely on a tangent.
Like,
but
now you've gotten me thinking. Like I'm like thinking like, no, well, that was good. I mean, they've all been so different. I mean,
Yeah.
Yep.
like even like in the same cities, like that was a great one, but we met so and so that year, so that one was good. Like, and so
Yeah.
it's like we meet new people every year, so
Mhm.
you can't like,
That's great.
you know,
Well, that's great to know too.
you know, because like I was like that
Get
year
that
we did,
social.
I get that plug, baby.
yeah.
It's
But
all
we
about
didn't
ice
know-
cream.
we didn't know so and so that year, so that was gonna have been the best ones because we didn't know them that year. So like we meet people every year, so and now like there are some of our best friends, so that couldn't have been that good because we didn't know so and so that year. I don't know.
Right.
It's like weird because every
So
year
so
is
they're
so
all
good.
tied. 1A,
Yeah.
1B, 1C, 1D, 1E.
Yeah.
There you
And
go.
see, like
Yeah.
now
The best
we
one.
know you guys. So like last year couldn't have been the best year because we didn't know you guys, and now
I
so
know.
Too
now
kind,
it
Dalise.
couldn't have been the best year. So now we know you. So
You're kind. And
Well,
we'll
sure.
Zoom. We'll get on and Zoom and we'll eat our ice cream, Danny, together. We'll just be on Zoom.
Yes. Yes.
Which are you
I
guys?
love it.
Are you still planning on going to Tennessee though during that time?
Yes.
We might have to ride with you and go too. We should go get our tickets.
We did.
We're getting an
Doing
Airbnb.
it.
so
I already have the time off. Let's go.
I
Nice.
told Danny, if this is this still on the podcast? I told Danny, I said, well, I guess you're gonna have to cancel our airplane tickets because we bought our airplane tickets when
When
COVID
COVID hit.
hit, and they
cheap.
were dirt cheap. So
Oh,
they were
Yes.
really inexpensive. And
Yes.
he said, but do we have to cancel our airplane tickets? He's like, our parents are already planning to babysit the children. So do we have to? Because see, usually
Awesome.
that trip is like at the end of football season. So it's our vacation to celebrate the end of season. Like it's our time away. Our parents are already boxed out to watch the children. It's our
Yes.
vacation every year, blocked out. So he was like, maybe we don't cancel the airplane tickets. We don't cancel
Smart.
the parents.
Hold up
Love
there. Honey, hold on. Let's
Yeah, yeah.
think
And
Let's
that.
think
we
about
do
this.
virtual AFCWA from Nashville. 'Cause
yes.
It's my home away from home. It's my favorite city on the planet. So
Okay.
now you're taking me to my favorite city on the planet with my favorite guy. Maybe we don't cancel the plan.
I don't
That's
blame
great.
you. I would do the same thing.
That's great.
So
We're still we're thinking about,
Yeah,
we would like
yeah.
to take a trip to Tennessee I've never been.
Yep.
So
It's
we were
amazing.
excited.
so I think we're gonna go.
Yeah, we're going.
And so our friends Jody and Aaron, they're probably gonna go too.
Awesome.
And we're talking Rob and Cynthia into going.
Well, maybe we need to crash this party, babe.
So
Airbnb. Let's go.
you guys
Let's
should
go.
come with us. We're probably just gonna get a big Airbnb.
That sounds amazing.
So
Yeah.
if you guys want to come with us,
Yeah. This isn't a hard sell. You're convincing me right now. That sounds too good to be true. So, no, we're gonna definitely stay in touch.
so
Yeah.
just
on
a
that,
lot of
yeah.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Everybody just log on.
That's fun.
And how
That's
fun,
it.
and then how fun would that be? Because you guys will still be able to talk some
Football.
brief talk, and us wives can talk some football because there's, like four
Right.
Yeah.
We'll
couples.
still
Well,
have
you
our
can-
little convention.
That's it.
There's a mirror there.
There's a mirror. Everybody just bring your expo pens.
We're bringing our grease pens. You guys are watching Grease. I mean, let's go. Let's go.
Perfect.
I love it.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
Let's go. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're excited about
Yeah,
it. And
we're gonna.
the only problem is though, and we just know the football season for us starts in January, and
Do you have a date yet?
we do have a date. So it's January 8th is game 1, which means we're practicing December 14th through Christmas, and then so it would be game 2, right? It would be the AFCA the second week, right? The
I think
10th through the
so, yeah.
12th.
Yeah.
So actually, no, I'm sorry, it's the same weekend. That's right. So we talked about it already.
Yeah.
We looked at it. We played a game on Friday night, and we were going to catch the red eye. Like we were going to hop on a plane after the game, get out there late Friday night, early Saturday morning,
Yeah.
spend all day Saturday, Sunday, and then take Monday off. I would have to talk to my boss maybe about coming back late Monday night, missing practice Monday night, so that we could stay out and enjoy, the scenery
Yeah.
and the sights and look around and stuff like that. So that that's our tentative plan, and that's what we're still kind of working through and working out. But we'll see.
And I have 2 girlfriends that moved out to Tennessee. So they moved to Thompson Station, which I think is like right below Franklin. So our initial thought before AFCA went virtual, we were going to, like Chris said, either take like a red eye or something like on Friday night, early Saturday morning, or just leave Saturday and maybe potentially stay with them on Saturday, but then register, and then check into the hotel on Sunday. That was what we were planning on doing. Cause we kind of wanted to just see where they live and, maybe just take a peek around Tennessee and see how much we like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Franklin's like my ideal city. Like if we were to live in Tennessee, Franklin's my little.
Yes.
I get some Zillow links about houses in Franklin about once every other week.
Okay.
And so she knows a real estate agent out there, and so I keep we're not moving. Like, but we could.
Yeah.
Look at this house. Half the mortgage, twice the space.
Right.
So she loves it there.
Yes.
Yep, that's us too. And just
having conversations.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, okay, we need to talk more.
We'll come back.
Let's not forget that conversation. We need to go back to that.
Sure. So just we'll go back to Danny. Kind of you're growing up in the football world and how you got to Orange Coast. What was your you played? I mean, let's start in high school. Like where did you play ball? What led you to want to be a high school football or college coach? And however you got to OC, but kind of what were some of your inspirations growing up as you were playing the game?
Yeah, so I think in high school. I was always too big to play like the Pop Warner and that type of stuff, so I didn't play tackle football until high school. Went to Marina High School, and I was actually in love with basketball. Loved basketball. I was going to go play with Shaq and Kobe. I was going to go play power forward, and at 6'1", with very little hops, that dream died quickly. As I got shifted from center on the freshman team very quickly to like shooting guard. And I struggled to dribble the ball. And so realized that maybe that was not the path for me. Fell in love with football, the aggression in football, the physicality. I played those type of physical positions. I played inside linebacker, outside linebacker. I played tight end. I played fullback. I played fullback out of a what's called veer team. Right, and so I still got to touch the ball every once in a while. They would pull it away from me all the time, but I got to touch it a little bit. And so at Marina High School, I had some coaches that I had some coaches.
Our son is wearing Cynthia's high heels.
Don't get those back.
That's outstanding.
You can afford it. Don't break them.
It's frozen.
In his pajamas.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Anyway, so at Marina High School, I had coaches that I would run through a wall for. Jeff Anger was my linebacker coach. Mike Dodd was my head coach. Just guys like I loved. From college, I got recruited. Again, wasn't going to go to the NFL. Had a decent GPA. Wanted to go to the best school that also had good football. Right, I didn't need to go play on TV, but I wanted to be part of a good program. There were some Division III programs around here, but they were like rebuilding. And and at Marina, we were the 3-7 type team. We were in the Sunset League. We were with Esperance at the time, was a powerhouse.
Yes.
Edison was powerhouse. La Salle was a powerhouse.
Right.
They go play on TV against Poly and against Mater Dei for championships. And so us Marina were, that average team that was, 3-7, 4-6 every year. And I wanted to go to a team that was a perennial winner. I wanted to know what did they do different that always made them a winner. That led me to Carnegie Mellon University out of Pittsburgh. It was a team
out there. Yes.
And so my head coach there, Rich Lackner, my defensive coordinator, Terry Bodner, who just retired. They were huge inspirations to me. I played inside and outside linebacker for Coach Bodner there, Coach B. I actually played with his son. So and it's funny because I picked Coach B's brain about how he coached his son, because that's so hard, right? You don't want to have favoritism. And as a player, sharing a position with his son, it was really interesting. And I always felt that he was harder on his son than anyone else. And so that always made me feel like his son's got to be twice as perfect as me. I never felt like I was getting shafted. If anything, the opposite. You know, and talking to, we call him Little B, but John's his name, the son, talking with him afterwards and debriefing with him. And it was kind of that standard. Like, they'd go home and they'd have dinner together because they lived 5 minutes away from campus. But loved playing for them and grew a passion for football. I think I loved my coaches in high school, and I turned into having a passion for the game of football and the intellectual. As a senior, I stress fractured my back, game 2. And sorry, we got.
That's okay.
Oh, look at her. She's cute. Hello.
Sweetie.
So developed a passion. I changed my majors a couple times. Stress fractured my back as a senior. As a junior, I tore my labrum in my shoulder. And I was just like, I was never really that fast, but like, you get really slow, like when you get hindered with injuries, like you're really not fast then. So you always have to take the right angle. You always have to know what's going on, the reads. And so all of a sudden my vision started to go more than just with my job and more of what's the concept being run offensively, where's my help, where's the safety's alley, right? And so you become that cerebral player because some of your athletic ability, you know, goes away. You know, I think you see that in the NFL all the time, is you see these guys who were amazing athletes but have long careers because they get the game.
Right.
You know, and they understand.
You became a student of the game. You studied all of it, you know, and that made you good. Yeah. Yeah.
So that got me really loving football. From there, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so I went to my coaches and I said, I'm thinking I want to be a football coach. And they said, don't do it. You make no money.
These great mentors, these guys you look up to are telling you, don't sign it. Don't do it.
So they said, if you're going to do it, there's this website that has jobs on it, footballscoop.com. Go start looking there. Whenever there's a job for a GA position, just apply for it. So that as I finish up college, I don't have a job. I move home. And that summer, I'm actually into cards a lot. So I play poker. I was actually at the World Series of Poker at a house I rented out with 3 or 4 other guys. And I'm playing in the tournaments every day and this and that. And I apply for jobs nonstop. I hear almost nothing back. First interviews, a couple spots, but nothing else. And then I hear back from Lindenwood University. Sean Nagel is the defense coordinator at the time. And he's like, so what you doing? Well, I'm playing poker in Las Vegas. I don't, he's like, really? Yeah. He's like, okay, well, I got an interview tomorrow, with the head coach. We want to bring you on. And the guy that they hired the previous year, I played against at Wash U out of St. Louis, and they loved him. And so they're like, okay, let's get another smart guy because we don't need him to play for us. We need him to coach for us. And so I get there. I'm told I'm coaching inside linebackers. I get there. I'm coaching outside linebackers. I get told like day one, hey, just so you know, you're the technology guy. What? Oh, yeah. Here's the servers. Here's the like, okay, thank God my dad's an IT guy. I'm on the phone with him. I probably talked more with him then as a GA than I did like as a high school kid, as a knucklehead high school kid. I'm on the phone with him out, and he's great. He's hours and hours at end, and he's helping me. We invested like in the Dell, like, so yeah, all that stuff. I get 2 years there, and you have no baggage, right? I don't really have a girlfriend. Okay, later, buddy. And so, what do we do? We break down film, and we have to break down all the film, right? Yep. For everyone, for all the full-time guys. Thank you, buddy. And And like, what do we do? Like, we're not trying to. Okay, thank you, buddy. Okay, thank you. Okay, Duke, busy right now.
Bring him on. We'll ask some questions. No problem. We'll get Duke involved. Absolutely.
Yeah. So like, being a graduate assistant is the best job. You get paid nothing,
Right.
and you're broke, and you work terrible hours, but you just learn football. And as long as the staff is open, which the staff at Lindenwood was amazing,
Yeah.
is you get to ask questions. Every once in a while I got told, like, okay, I'll answer it later. Okay, we gotta like do something right now. But overall, the guys I worked for, lifelong friends, pretty much the whole staff, lifelong friends. Some guys are still in football, some aren't. But like the defense coordinator, like, he yelling at me all the time and that type of stuff, and like he wrote us all the time, and like I bug him all the time now. And like, I was golfing with a Lindenwood buddy who's now at Southwest Baptist. We visited him in Missouri over the summer, and like my buddy didn't make it past the women's team, so I got a video of that. I'm sending that to Nagel, and Nagel's not in football anymore. It's not a networking thing. It's just like, we're just boys.
Love it.
And that type of relationship building there was amazing. And I learned so much base football. You know, I talked about the Florida State offensive line coach, just base. Like, what are they supposed to do? What are their assignments? What are they supposed to do? Is really important in all positions. So after that, I got my master's degree, and my nephew was being born. So it was the first grandchild for my mom. And so I came home, and I got offered a job at Marina under George Pasco as defense coordinator. Took that. It was just kind of being a homebody. I actually bought a condo with my brother. And 3 years at Marina. Before year 2 happened, I met Dalise. We kindled, and you know, the rest is history type thing. But my first year with Dalise, I was defense coordinator at Marina, and we were 3-7 at the time, kind of the perennial 3-17. And then I went to Coach Pasco and I said, I want to become offensive coordinator, and I want to do it because I want to become a better coach. I want to be a well-rounded coach, because I want to eventually be a head coach. At the time, we had a vacancy. He gave me that, and you know, I had a lot of bumps in the road in my first year calling an offense and developing an offense. And I Redlands coach Jim Good, the offense coordinator for Redlands.
Yes.
I went to him a week into being an offense coordinator and said, "How you doing?"
Yeah.
Like, I called the defense.
Hit the record button and let's start talking. Let's go.
Yeah. So like, he had a clinic, and I was a defense coordinator at the time. And then afterwards, like, I liked him so much, I became offense coordinator. I said, "Can I just come to Redlands and come just ask you questions and talk ball and watch film?" And the staff at Redlands are amazing.
They are great dudes. Yes.
Yeah. They are absolutely
Coach
amazing.
Mariani. Yeah.
Yes.
Coach Good. Wonderful men.
They're amazing people. I've sent a couple players there. They are class act, and they dominate their league all the time. And so it's fun, you know, watching them and talking ball. I'm good friends with him still to this day. I just did a camp with him not too long ago, and I reminisce, like, remember that first day and that type of stuff. Okay. Sorry about the shine.
No worries.
So anyway, so offense coordinator there. Coach Pasco ends up resigning after that season. I go, and I'm just finishing my teaching classes, and I need to go be a teacher, a student teacher. Sorry.
Yes.
And so I get a job being an offense coordinator at Cardenas High School and being a student teacher. Had a phenomenal experience learning math and learning from a master teacher there, and then needed to move on. I had a baby girl at the time. She was under a year. I needed a job. I needed something that was actually going to pay me money and not just sub pay. And so I got a job at a charter school in Los Angeles County, and I got a job coaching at Pacifica with potential teaching coming. That was actually the off season that I went to 3 different schools that off season, trying to find a teaching job attached to a coaching job.
Right.
And so that happened.
Were you looking for a head coaching job? Is that what? Just
No.
any coaching gig? Okay.
Teach and coach, right?
Got it.
You want me to coach the 3rd string punter? I do it. I need a teaching job.
Yes.
You know, again, it was one of those things of, I understand necessity. Like, swallow your pride, whatever. You need to be able to pay some bills, right?
Yes.
I've been not earning any income for a while. It was time to go earn some money. And so got the job. A couple of dead ends, you know, like in that March, April, May time, like, oh, I think I have a job. I'm not sure if I have a job. Maybe there's a job. And so, like,
now, I'm sorry, Coach, real quick, Dalise, were you working at the time as well?
I was working. I was a full-time sign language interpreter at the time. So I was at the district. I had just had Dixie.
Yes.
So
she was about a year, Coach, you were saying, right? About a year old when you were in this transition and you were working, and man, what a crazy season of life that must have been for you guys. Wow.
Right. So I had been at the district that whole time. So I had been, let's see, going on 8 years or whatever. Yeah, about 8 years. I had been with the district. So
because you're trying to 10, 2 years.
Yeah. So I had been with the district. I had been off maternity leave and come back and been with Dixie. So I was still full time employed.
Okay, continue, Coach. So after that.
So actually that season was at Pacific High School. My first year as a special teams coordinator and DB coach. And then after that, I actually got the kind of perfect fit at Downey with teaching and coaching together.
Okay.
You know, and that was fantastic. You know, there's nothing, you know, being on campus at 6 a.m. with your players and being able to oversee what's going on and really not only coach them in the athletics, but be there for the whole child, right? The psychological, you know, and kids would come in for nutrition. Like for me is I would buy I guess I can't do that in COVID anymore, but I would give away food. Like, and so I'd have like just the granola. They asked me for chips. I'm not selling anything. Like I'm not selling chips. Like granola bars, free, take them, right? If you're hungry, here's some granola, which is good for you, which can give you some fuel instead of the terrible chips or whatever they eat. And so that was for 4 years. I was receiver coach for 3. And then this last year I was tight ends and special teams coordinator. And that was, you know, met phenomenal people there. The administration, the program, everyone involved with Downey High School, class act, cannot talk anything other than spectacular for everyone involved in that program. And, you know, learned a lot, learned about myself, the relationships we built. Dalise cried when I got the Orange Coast job because she was losing one of my junior tight ends who's about to be a senior and who actually blew out his knee in October and was going through rehab, and like she's like, I don't get that kid anymore. And what she's learned
right there.
that's the Mama Falk, absolutely. And what she's learned as we're just getting started into JUCO is these kids need Mama Falk too. Like the stories that I get, you know, because you're a confidant, like you know this, like you're a confidant, like they're gonna come and they're gonna tell you stuff. Like I had and I know I'm probably getting into the next question already, but like I had a kid, you know, a couple of days ago tell me, hey coach, I think I have a warrant out for my arrest. I might not be at all the meetings right now or what's going on, just to let you know.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, so hold on, let's have a conversation first. Like, it's not a, hey coach, like I got a dentist appointment. Like you gave me a little more than just that. Like, what's going on, man? Like, so I might elaborate that a little bit later as we talk. I think you have a follow-up question on that, but that's how I got to Orange Coast College. Why am I a coach? I think that's, you know, that's actually one of my talks I have with my players. Like, why are you doing what you're doing? You give up all this time, you give up everything that you do to do football, like, why are you here? And so why I coach is extremely personal to me. I lost my dad when I was 8. And I had a stepdad, and he was fantastic. But the role of coach throughout, and not just football coach, baseball coach, mentor, Chris Van Tassel in Little League. I remember the coach that was hard on me, the Tim Brennans, the Bob Jeskis that pushed me, right? I remember the high school coach I wanted to run through a wall for. I remember Coach Bodner, Coach Bean, Coach Lackner, and like what great influences of great men and great fathers and great husbands they were. And that's what I think of when I think of all those great influences. And if I can just be something like that to my players, that's what I want to do. That's why I coach.
I love it, Coach.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
I just wanted to jump back really quick because something you said sparked my curiosity. And I think maybe a lot of our listeners could probably glean from what you had to, you have to say and share. But you had said that when you asked your college coach, what was it like coaching his son? Is there maybe just one thing that he said that maybe encouraged you? Because I know, there's a lot of our listeners that have sons that are probably going to play for them, or they're, they have aspirations of coaching their sons. I know Chris does himself, and maybe perhaps you do too, Danny. What was one of the things that he shared that kind of you took from that conversation and said, you know what, I'm going to implement that, not only just in coaching my son, but coaching the boys in general?
Yeah. I think the biggest takeaway I got, and I asked him this question at dinner. He was at the AFCWA convention maybe 3-4 years ago, being honored for a 30-year membership, and he usually doesn't go. Like, he usually is just like, I'm too busy, da, da, da. But he went to get honored, which is amazing. And I see him in the hallway, and I'm like, well, that's my coach. Like, we need to have dinner, something like that. So we go out, dinner with his wife and Dalise, and as I'm asking him that, again, I played with his son in the same position. So, I have kind of this unique, I don't know, you coached your son. I was there for it. I was there because we came in the same year. So it's not like he was an older guy. Like, it was the same year as freshman and the whole deal. I think the biggest thing that resonated with me is that open communication was so huge. Yes, he has high expectations for his son. He has high expectations for all of his players. But for his son, he has high expectations, and it doesn't change. Like, just because you're your son doesn't mean that you can be a bad influence. Doesn't mean you can slack. Doesn't mean you cannot give great effort, right? You're my son. That means that if anything, you're under the microscope. But when you have your son going through this and having to come home with dinner with your boss or your defensive coordinator, you have to have that open communication. Because if you go to bed mad or it drags on, that's not good. I remember, I'd have bad practices. I'd be in a bad mood, right? Something not go well. Like, Coach B yells at me. It gets under my skin, or, oh my God, I missed that read again. And so as a son, you have to debrief on the ride home. And it's kind of one of those things of I actually enjoy being 20-30 minutes away from home, because I get to, right now as a coach, kind of debrief and calm down instead of being home in 5 minutes. And I brought practice home. And so the big thing with him is communication, and kind of that debriefing with his son was so key of still having a phenomenal relationship with his son to this day.
Wonderful. Great.
Yeah, thank you for that.
No, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate that. Well, guys, thank you so much. We're gonna wrap up our time, and maybe just one more question, kind of for the both of you. Maybe Dalise, you can maybe if you want to start with this one. Just going forward. So as you guys are in this time of kind of shutdown and all of that, what's a pearl of wisdom you could give us that that we could take just from the standpoint of being together in this and on this journey when there is no current season? So how are you guys, I don't know, maybe the question is maybe how are you managing your time together, and how have you enjoyed your time that you've been blessed with more together during this time?
I think Danny and I, we joke that we still like each other. We still, I mean, I think that's it. I think we still enjoy being still and just being quiet. Right here above where we're sitting, we have a big Be Present that we bought in San Antonio at AFCWA at Magnolia Farms.
Nice.
So
Oh, Chip and Joanna, by the way.
Oh, love them.
Oh yeah, we love them.
Demo day, baby.
Yes,
So,
sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good Lord. So we bought this Be Present there when we were there 2 years ago. And I think that's what we have come to figure out is that we have found that being quiet and being still and being present with each other and with our kids is okay. And not being as busy is okay. And not filling all the gaps is okay. That the societal have your kids in 95 things and book your calendars and say yes to everything and don't hurt anybody's feelings and book yourselves up and, you know, all of that and saying no, you know, well, we had to say no to everything because everything was closed, right? The world said no to us, right?
Yes.
Everything was locked down. So we are okay with all of that, and we have fulfilled our home with each other and have been able to be okay with that. Obviously, our kids social emotionally would like to be out and be with their friends, and God bless them, they want to go back to school.
Yes.
So that is a positive.
Yeah.
But I think just being in gratitude for being healthy, and we have had some family health issues outside of the four of us. Okay. So, and being in gratitude that the four of us are healthy and that we're able to take care of those around us that aren't.
Yes.
And that in big picture that it could be a lot worse, and that we're able to just really be in gratitude for each other, and that even when it really looks bad and feels overwhelming, that it really isn't that bad, and that we're just really grateful that we have each other and that it's not that bad.
Love it.
I love that.
I mean, I think it really, sometimes it really feels really bad. And, I mean, it really does. It really feels, I mean, this week has been really tough for Danny and I. I mean, with
not for
us,
but like
the schedule was really bad. It was like the first full week of school,
and like everything that could go wrong went wrong. Like pounded. I had back to school night Wednesday. I had my first clinic talk that I did over Zoom Wednesday before back to school night. I had grades due last night. All of our technology's not working. I worked until 10 o'clock every night this week, including this week, I guess. Yeah. I guess I'm still working.
Wow.
And so, like,
well,
it's one of the.
You for coming on.
Yeah, but as far as like the takeaways, obviously, like being able to like sit on the couch and just talk, and sit on the couch and watch TV, and then pause it and talk randomly about a random topic and just enjoy each other's company.
I think be mindless
has been huge. And like getting away from all the crazy and that type of stuff, and just being present with each other has been huge. Playing I'll tell you what, as far as COVID, I've gone on more bike walks or bike rides. I walk, they bike ride. And
I got you.
And like I'll tell you what, like I will never usually get that. Like I'm busy. I got spring ball, I got fall ball, I got recruiting, I'll see you at night at like 7 for dinner, and now I get to do that. I'll take a break from teaching and like, hey, grab your bike, let's go. It's 10 minutes, and so being able to do that with your family has been amazing. I think as far as like the football aspect and the coaching, my players know my wife. They see how I treat my wife. They see how I treat my kids. And I want that to be the lasting thing they get from this moment. We're not grinding on the field. We're not bleeding, sweating together. You see me on Zoom, and I keep my camera on, and I do not put up a virtual background. I want you to see my crazy. Because because your life's crazy too, right? I know that on the other side, like you got tons of stuff going on, right? I do the same thing with my students. You get to see my crazy. You know, I'm hoping my son doesn't walk in naked, but it does happen because he's 4, and that's what 4-year-old boys do. Right. And so, but I want them to see me interact with my wife. So I think it's important. And unfortunately, a lot of my players and players in general, right, the population doesn't have a father figure. And so if you don't have a father figure, you don't know how you should act to a female or to children or that types of things, because you either didn't have one or you had a bad one. And it's really important for them to see a good example, not just, you know, on a show or whatever, but like in real life. When it's crazy, like, what do you do? Like, no, stop hitting your sister. Like, I'm allowed to say that, you know, without doing something stupid, and still loving them. You know, they get timeouts if they do something bad. And afterwards, we get an apology. I still love you. You know, and so I think it's really important. And the takeaway that I'm going to get from all this time is that they get to see me in my environment. They know Mama Falk better than probably any other year, which is crazy. Yeah. But their interactions, so she does, and we didn't talk about this earlier. I know I'm long-winded, but she does all the signals for us. So she's a sign language interpreter. We're rebuilding our offense. Last year they were not a no huddle offense. And I'd come in and I'd come just to polish everything and to verbiage and to help with the stuff. And so she's in charge of making sure that we take stuff that makes sense and we can signal it onto a field. But that ASL, her background in ASL is a huge thing. And they rather see videos of her signaling than me anyways, of showing them what the signal is. And so she's on our digital playbook doing signals. Wow.
That's awesome.
Delise,
I love that.
Impressive. That is really cool. And I think that's something that Chris always would tell me. He's like, Corrine, when the players and the family see me, I want them to see you. Yeah. And I think just speaking into a little bit of what you've been sharing is, Danny, is that there's something to be said about that. It brings a realism to you, into each of you as a coach. Because, you know, you're not just the man on the turf, right? Or the grass. You're on the field. You're Danny, the father, the husband, you know, Chris, the father, the husband. And I think there's just something into that dynamic that really helps speak into the boys too. So thank you for sharing that, because I think that's really true. And I think a lot of sometimes coaches miss that, you know, and that's okay. And that's why we do this, right? And so anyway, that's great. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, hey, listen, I want to thank you for your time. I know it's been a crazy week, and we'll get a picture here real quick, but thank you so much, Danny and Dalise, for coming on and just being a part of our little show. Yeah. It was great to meet you guys. I'm very excited about the future. Very excited about maybe a little road trip. Yeah, and all that. So we'll definitely stay in touch as we go. But can't thank you enough for spending just an hour and a half of your week, a crazy week, a busy week.
I know. Thank you so much, especially because it's been a late week tonight for you. So
so let's take a picture real quick and then.
Quick. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Danny, Dalise, thank you so much.
Yes.
We appreciate you.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Enjoy your weekend with Cynthia. Have fun.
Yeah, we're excited.
All right. Tell her I said good night too. Okay, guys.
Take
care.
Night.
Bye.
Good night.